today our plan is to do lots and lots of spring inspired baking. Really, baking is pretty much the core of it. I want to say cooking, but we're not really cooking anything. It's mainly making sweet treats, some savory ones as well. And I'm very excited. I will share our list, but beyond baking, we actually are going to make a couple syrups because we have jasmine in bloom in the garden as well as elderflower. And we've had our elderberry shrub for a few years now, and I've made elderberry syrup with the actual berries, but I have never utilized the elderflower until this week. It dawned on me. I'm like, why are we not using this gorgeous flower that has so many different medicinal properties, antioxidants, and other incredible benefits, and they're so adorable. I made pancakes and sprinkled them on the pancakes, but I would love to make an elderflower syrup and probably just sprinkle the flowers on other creations that we make. But here is our list for today. We'll see how much we actually get done today. We do have a little baby helper who, you know, is going to be around for the baking adventure. So we'll see what happens, but we need to feed our sourdough starter. I want to get this going because I would love to make loaves for this weekend, but we keep our sourdough starter in the fridge. So just to kind of get it going and all bubbly and active, we need to feed it this morning and then this evening. And with our sourdough discard, which the sourdough discard is the portion of sourdough that you take out when you feed your sourdough starter, I want to make these cheese crackers, these sourdough cheese crackers. They're basically Cheez-Its, but with sourdough. My little nephew loves them and they're under the weather, so I want to drop them off some elderflower for the antioxidants and some sourdough cheese crackers for just yumminess. And then the elderflower syrup, the jasmine syrup I'd love to do as well because, again, we have so many beautiful jasmines in bloom. And then savory scones. We've made these once before last weekend, and they were truly one of the most delicious things we've ever eaten. They have bacon, cheese, chives in them. They're delightful, so I want to make those. And the great thing about scones is that you can keep them in the freezer and just bake them whenever you're ready for them. So that is a great thing to just prep ahead of time before hosting. And then finally, for the grand finale, I would love to make a lemon cake with lemon cream cheese frosting. And last week it was my friend's birthday and I made this dome-shaped cake, and I'd love to do that again because the idea is to have this ready for Easter, and it kind of looks like an egg. So how cute would this dome yellow lemon cake be with some elderflower and jasmine sprinkled on top? That's the vision. So we'll see what we're able to make happen. Are looking to learn more about sourdough in general, I have a full in-depth tutorial and recipe on my website, so I will link that in the description if you are learning more or if you're curious about learning more. But it's really great because it seems like a lot of effort, and at first I will be the first one to admit it, it is, but once you kind of get it down, it can become part of your routine and schedule. And personally, we have a small family. It's just me, my husband, and our baby. So he's tried sourdough. He likes it, but he doesn't eat that much. So basically, I typically bake 2 loaves at a time, and sometimes I'll gift the loaf, but oftentimes we just freeze both of them. We slice it and then freeze it all, and then just pop an individual slice in the toaster whenever we fancy a piece of bread, and that lasts us a long time. So I only end up baking sourdough once a month, so maybe twice a month. So just to give you some encouragement. These elderflowers to be the cutest little things ever. They're so dainty and delicate. And my plan was, oh, I'll make the elderflower syrup first. That way when iced coffee time rolls around later this afternoon, we can try it out with our iced coffee. Well, I'm the queen of waiting to read through a full recipe until right when I'm about to make it. And it says to leave the water and sugar over your elderflower and lemons for days until your syrup's ready. So we will try it on Sunday afternoon or maybe Monday together, but I'm excited to try the syrup. I decided that I'll just do the elderflower today, but I did pick a few jasmines as well. So we'll have elderflower with a pinch of jasmine flower. So essentially the plan is we're gonna prepare a jar. First of all, we need to take the stems off of the flowers, or take the flowers off of the stem as best as we can, because something about the elderberry bush that's quite interesting is that the stems as well as the berries, they are toxic to you if consumed raw. However, the flowers are not. So you are able to, and actually that's typically how you're able to absorb the most of the antioxidants and nutritional properties. It's just eating them fresh, not even rinsing them off, because you want the pollen and everything. So that is quite interesting. So we're gonna try to take as much of the stem, or remove as much of the stem as possible, add that to the jar with lemon, and then we're gonna pour over our water and sugar syrupy mixture over that, and then we'll let that sit and then strain that in a couple of days. It was a labor of love to remove the flowers off of the stems, but it was a pretty relaxing task. Oops, I just got a lot more stuck to the lemon. The recipe calls for lemon juice as well as lemon zest, so I am going to do that, and I'm having the recipe because, you know, I really don't need that much elderberry or elderflower syrup. Maybe I'll regret that and I'll want more, but we can just make some more when the time allows. Also, I'm noticing when I was researching elderflower and all the recipes that this seems a lot more common to enjoy in the UK. So that was interesting. I prepped the napkins for our Easter celebration. They look so cute. These napkins we actually tie-dyed with avocado skins. I believe last year we did them, or the year before. So I will link my tutorial if you're interested. It's way easier than you may think. And now we wait. Okay, I did a little mise en place, and now it's time to prep our savory scones. Time for a little fuel for the rest of our baking. Elderflower syrup, it's going to be hard to beat. Just a honey cinnamon latte, my favorite. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And now I'm just going to pop them in a freezer bag, keep them in the freezer until we're ready to bake them, and I'll just add a couple minutes to the bake time so that they get nice and crispy and flaky. We are chugging along. We have done, well, we just did our sourdough starter, fed it, but we did that. We did our elderflower syrup. We did our savory scones. So now we just have our lemon cake, which that feels like the main event, and then our cheese crackers, which the sourdough cheese crackers, I need to do those tonight after I feed the starter once again, because I have this much sourdough discard, which it's getting bubbly. It's fun to see it kind of activate and come alive, but for a bigger batch of crackers, I want double the amount, so we'll do that later this evening, and then now we can start on the lemon cake. I think the goal is to bake the cakes today, and then we can just keep them in the freezer or fridge. And it's so funny, last time I made this cake last week, the dome-shaped cake, I posted it on YouTube, and you know, I was so proud, and a few people commented like, oh, they were, you all are the best, like so kind, so thoughtful and encouraging. You're like, oh, idea, maybe next time put like frosting or jam between the layers. And I'm like, yes, why in the world did I not do that? I felt so silly. I just put each layer of the cake just on top of each other and like squished it down. Again, I'm a novice baker, so that seems like an obvious thing to do, but clearly I didn't think of it. So this time I do want to put frosting between the layers, so we'll see where we get to. Maybe we'll make our frosting today, or maybe we'll make it tomorrow, and either way it'll feel great to just get the cakes done. And it already smells heavenly in our home with all these baking scents. But just imagine when we have the lemon cake in the oven. I've been thinking of cakes for our son's first birthday, and you know, I do, as much as I have a sweet tooth and stuff, I kind of want to avoid, he's like, yeah, give me some. I kind of want to avoid the sugar exposure as long as possible, pretty much, or just, you know, limit it as much as possible for now. Of course, I believe in balance, but you know, he's a baby. He does not know what he's missing. So I think since he has a summer birthday, I think I'm gonna make a watermelon cake. I think that would be perfect. Okay, it's time for some after hours baking. The cake is not finished, but the actual cake part has finished baking. It's been cooling in the fridge, and we did nibble a little bit on it. Brandon and I taste tested some of the cake because some of it did kind of come off in the pan, which is totally fine. It looks like a mess right now, but it'll come together. I have faith. We just are gonna carve it down, shape it up, and then the frosting makes it so forgiving. So I'm excited, but it is absolutely delicious. I was tempted just to make the frosting tonight so we could have it as soon as possible, but patience, patience. The anticipation will make it all the more sweeter, maybe. And now I'm gonna make the sourdough crackers and then call it a night, and we'll do our frosting, and that'll be our grand finale of this whole baking excursion. Actually, no, we have to wait for our syrup, so we have more to look forward to. happy to report the cake was delicious. The elderflower syrup was also delicious. We ended up mixing it with lemonade, and then I added some flowers and a lemon on top, and it was absolutely lovely. I thought it would be nice to try it in my coffee, which maybe I'll still try. I'm not opposed to it, but I feel like it's going to be hard to beat the pairing with lemonade. It's just so refreshing. And then the scones, delightful. That's probably one of my new favorite recipes. We've only made it twice, but I foresee us making it many, many more times. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Happy baking, happy spring. I'm excited to see you next. Bye!